Hi guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. This is the daily reading for all signs. It is for you when you see it rather than when it's created for, but also to be used when it's created for. Make sense of that. Watch some of my other videos, you'll understand what I mean. But basically, don't get caught up on the date if you're watching this and it doesn't match up to the date. If the message makes sense, use it. I believe spirit, our higher selves, our higher power, the universe has ways of getting messages to us in perfect timing. So please feel free to utilize any of my readings at any time they come across your proverbial desk, so to speak. This is originally created for those that follow along daily for Friday, the 11th of March. Okay. Feels like a nice number, 311. I don't know why. Well, 11 is a master number, obviously, but it's for Friday, the 11th of March, originally. I will refer back to the underpinning energy of the week, which is from Sunday's video that you'll find in the lower left-hand corner at the end of this video if you want to reference what I'm talking about. And if you don't, that's okay too. Just take what you need from the reading and leave the rest, okay? If you're new to me, please check out the drop-down menu. In there is information on how to book a private reading, what decks I work with, how to purchase those decks, things I want you to think about while using the channel, just stuff like that. And so please feel free to check that stuff out. And for those of you that do support me and watch, please hit those thumbs up buttons every time you enjoy the reading. Even if you're just doing a drive-by and stopping in and you're not a regular subscriber, hit that thumbs up button. It helps me and it lets YouTube know that I'm creating content that people are enjoying. Also, subscribe. If you're not subscribed, hit subscribe, hit that notification bell. I do free daily content. I will go back to doing live at some point. So when you hit that that bell, it will notify you not only when I have a new video up, but also when I go live. So you want to hit that bell if you want to not miss those sort of events and things like that when I start doing them again. And what else do I want you to know? Oh, questions or comments, please leave them on the video. I greatly appreciate it. A shout out to, I believe her name is Karen. I got a new comment from a new viewer that I didn't know was watching. Not Karen S. I know you watch, dear, but a different Karen, which was kind of like exciting to me. I was like, oh my God, there's a viewer in there that like finally commented. What was her name? Hold on, let me look. I'm not going to say her full name, but I think it was Karen. Am I not correct? I know I responded to you yesterday, but it just pleased me to no end to see that I have a viewer out there that was new to me that is actually watching and enjoying. Yes, Karen was actually enjoying my content. And so that's cool. I love that sort of stuff. It just like really fluffs my wings, so to speak, or gives me hope that there are new people that are finding the channel and enjoying the content that I create. So please use this content to, support you, validate you, give you insight, a little bit of guidance, yes, but don't let these videos necessarily make the decisions for you. You want to be the one that's empowered in making your own decisions. I never want my videos to take away your option of free will. That's the most important part of all of this thing, is that we have our free will to make the choices in our lives that we need to. I just want to support you in maybe things that, you already might know or feel or sense. Okay, so let's see what the cards are for today. We've got the Seven of Pentacles. I kind of love this card. It's usually depicted as a man in a field on like leaning on a hoe, and not that kind of hoe, ladies or gentlemen. He's leaning on like a gardening tool hoe, and he is looking at his crops, which we have this lady here. She's looking at her crops, certainly. Sevens are about conscious choices in tarot, like making that conscious choice to turn towards ideally the balance of the 8 that comes after 7, right? We've shifted from the, balance in 6 to the choice of 7 back into the balance of 8 once we've settled into that choice, right? Seven of Pentacles to me is all about the harvest. When do we harvest this? It's also about the time, the work that's been put in, the energy, the attention that's put into something, the care that we put into something. Pentacles energy is associated with earth, right? So it is a slower energy. It's a more, I don't want to say it's more meaningful because each of the elements have their own meaning, but in some ways to me, it feels a bit more dedicated, a bit more discerning, a bit more like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's early here. It's like processy in a way, right? Like, especially with the Seven of Pentacles, it's about looking at what we have, understanding the work that we've put in, understanding that maybe now is not the right time. Maybe now is not the time to take action. Today is not necessarily the day to make big decisions. Yesterday, we had a big card and a really kind of what I felt to be a very sort of powerful reading about forward moving action. Today is like, now we pause and we look at where we're at with this Seven of Pentacles. We look at what we have. We look at what we've created, what we've grown in our life. And there's a gratitude with the Seven of Pentacles, right? We understand the hard work that's been put in. We also see sort of that payoff, that goal, that opportunity to receive coming towards us. But now may not be exactly the right time is always the feeling that I get with the Seven of Pentacles, right? It is about that. When do we make the conscious choice to reap the harvest of the fruit or the pentacles that are here? Pentacles often deals with the material realm, right? So this could be about money for some of you, or jobs, or hard work put into relationships. And is now the time to kind of make a decision to, you know, harvest it. And harvest to me can symbolically be like, moving it to the next level, or, you know, cutting the fruit, eating it, and being done. You know, like whatever that harvest looks like for you, each one of you is going to see it differently around your own personal situation. But right now is a time of like, how do I want to say this? Like introspective reflection, grounded introspective reflection on the work and effort that you've put into a particular situation, person, idea, creation, and how you've nurtured that. And then really being connected to that and understanding of that so that you can better understand when is the right time to say the thing that you need to say, or when is the right time to do the thing that you need to do next, right? With the Seven of Pentacles, there's always this sort of like attention being paid that I feel like is important, that needs to be expressed, because it is that conscious choice that we make, right? It is that sort of, okay, I've put in all of this work. I've done all of this sort of study. I've made all of these decisions, and it's brought me to this point, and things are looking fruitful. They're looking possible. They're looking good. But is now the time to harvest? Is now the time to move forward? You know, there's a certain sense of gratitude and appreciation with the Seven of Pentacles also too, where we may want to just step back and look at what we have put in thus far and be grateful for that, and not necessarily rush things along. Pentacles is not an energy of rushing. It's an energy of being methodical, being steady, being dedicated and discerning. These are things that we want to be in today as we look at the decisions that we're making or the choices that we're making. We want to be conscious of those choices, because those choices affect our material world, right? They affect our harvest in a way, in a sense. So what is it that we want to harvest would be a good question too. What is it that we're harvesting? Again, similar to yesterday's reading, it's kind of like, what are we putting our attention on? Where are we putting it on? In what way is our attention being sort of utilized? Is it in a negative fashion, or is it in a positive fashion? Are we grateful for what we have? Do we see the benefit? Do we see the sort of the harvest? Or are we looking at it as if it's not enough? I never get that feeling with the Seven of Pentacles, but some of you could be doing that. So you might want to steer away from that and then start to look at maybe the more positive aspects of whatever work you have done. Sometimes the Seven of Pentacles can also be just a card of rest or pause before making the next move, right? Before making the next choice to make the next move within a situation. So doing that doesn't hurt you or anyone else, right? It actually helps the crop, and the crop I mean symbolically the goal, to maybe even come to a more fruitful outcome or a more beneficial, tastier sort of ending in that way. Okay, so let's see what the Sacred Destiny Oracle has to say. Wow. She just spooked the shit out of me when I saw her. Purity. There's a sly knowing on this dog's eyes. Do you see it? And the idea of purity, right? Because everything's white, snowy. There's a knowing here in this card, in this dog. I love that card. I love this deck, Denise, Linn. I don't know if there's any way to get this video to Denise, but Denise, this deck like just is gorgeous. Instantly, I look at this dog and I understand the pause of the Seven of Pentacles, right? I understand the perception of this dog. This dog is standing out, in my opinion, as I look at this dog, I feel like this dog is standing from further back, looking at the bigger picture, the forest from the trees, as we see those trees down below, right? The winter scene there feels like maybe things aren't necessarily exactly as we would want them, right? Winter can be cold, it can be introspective, it can be quieter period, right? And the Seven of Pentacles would indicate that patience and quiet too, as we reflect upon whatever it is that we've done or how we've gone about a certain project or a certain endeavor, right? And when I look at this purity, this dog knows, this dog is listening to sort of a voice. As I look at this dog's eyes, I feel like this dog is listening to a voice from within, right? The green eye and the purple eye, they take me instantly to like sort of the heart chakra and then to the crown chakra, which is our knowing. And the heart chakra is kind of where I believe our spirit resides, right? So we're talking to our higher self and our heart, our emotional, spiritual self in both areas. And we're listening to those signals, the purity of those signals, to maybe make the decisions in our life today as to when to harvest or when to move forward, when to take action. Do not pull on the cords, please. Do you want to end up like the purity dog and be out in the snow? I don't think so. So I like that these two cards feel very much in alignment. They feel like they are more in a passive viewership and reflection rather than a action state at this time, right? Yesterday's cards were very much about action. The underpinning energy to this week is the Magician, right? We're moving into the end of the week. So we have today's reading and tomorrow's reading, and then the week is over. We have that Magician, that major arcana Magician energy underpinning this, right? It's about creation. And it's funny that this wolf shows up, because yesterday's story, I kept saying, referencing that idea of which wolf do you feed? The wolf of fear or the wolf of love? And this wolf has come to our door to be fed. And the Seven of Pentacles requests us to look at how are we feeding or tending to our crops. Crops being metaphorical for our desires, our material gains, our wealth in life. That can be wealth in money, that can be wealth in spirit, that can be wealth in relationships. How are we tending to them? Right? And so that's what I feel like these cards are kind of trying to tell us today, is to look at the bigger picture, to look at things, even if things are a little bit chilly, cold, not as we want them to be just yet. But then the wolf has the wisdom to also listen to its inner self at the heart level and at the crown level, and to tell itself, or to make the decisions, you know, how do I want to say this, like slowly and steadily towards those goals. Does that make sense? Let me read purity to you really quick. It's interesting because purity is, we had a power yesterday. So these P words. First, snow. Before the first snow, the earth is dark and cold. Fallen trees from autumn storms lay haphazardly atop the decaying leaves that cover the forest floor. However, when the first snow arrives, the darkness and decomposing soil are replaced by a purity that is light and bright. In the sunshine, the individual snowflakes atop the snowdrift sparkle with crystalline light. Harsh sounds are muffled. Sharp corners and rugged edges are muted. Everything feels fresh and new. Debris seemingly disappears beneath the pristine white landscape. Softly falling snow illuminates the environment in a diffusion of swirling forms. At night, in the light of the full moon, the first snow is glowing and serenely silent, turning everything into an enchanted fairy tale realm. In some mystical traditions, descending snow symbolizes the transmission of knowledge from the higher plane. That's the purple eye to me, is from your seventh chakra, your spiritual knowing. From the higher plane, the heavens, and the lower planes, the earth. And to me, the green would be representational of your heart, or closer to the earth and your physical emotions, thus bringing purity to earth. The sacred landscape wants you to know, no matter what has happened in the past, everything can be fresh and new again. The purity of your soul is shining through everything that you encounter. You are entering into a period of grace. Simply open your heart and know the best is yet to be. The past does not need to equal the future. Your future can and will be shimmering, sparkling, and bright. Old limiting patterns are dropping away. Recurring challenges are releasing. This is a time of redemption, forgiveness, and holy healing. So I would say with these two cards too, that's a beautiful reading. It's about stepping back and really looking at what we have in front of us, what we've done, what we've worked for, and then just making that informed decision as to, is now the time to take action, right? Let's look at the grounding stone. This is just a principle we want to ground in today while we're doing this work. And that stone is, okay, let's do it. This is on, I think this is also carnelian, just a lighter version of carnelian, but the word is prosperity. So understanding that sometimes even taking a pause or a period of reflection can create that prosperity for us. Reflecting and being in gratitude of the prosperity that is around us, right? The Seven of Pentacles would indicate a sort of a harvest well earned through hard work, right? Through attention to detail, through care and nurturing. And when we ground in our own prosperity, we're able to make better, sort of higher level or better decisions connected to our higher selves and the purity of who we truly are. And that in turn creates that prosperity that we're seeking. Does that make sense? We're turning our energy towards this idea of abundance and the reality of that, the creation of that, and acknowledging the work that we put in, the desire that we have for that. Remember, this week's stone underneath prosperity is also that idea of grounding in the idea of desire. What is it that we want? Not just, at a more deeper spiritual level, and giving that to ourselves, acknowledging the work and the effort or the challenges we faced to get towards that desire. The prosperity is there for us. We just need to sort of acknowledge it, be in gratitude for it, and then kind of take it in a way, right? So ground in that today and let that be your guide as you look over everything and double check stuff, so to speak. That is your forecast. Please hit the thumbs up button. Leave me a question or comment. Please share the video out. Tell your friends about me and help me get the word out. I'm trying to grow the channel. Have a wonderful day. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Remember, the magician is all about creation. He's behind all of this, so it should be incredible. Take care. Bye-bye.